Gear up, because this is the Fuel Your Marketing podcast, designed to accelerate sales and grow your business. Let's welcome your host, Arti Sharma.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Fuel Your Marketing podcast. I'm your host, Arti Sharma, and today I have a very special friend as our guest on this episode, and she's a power woman, I would say. Please join me in welcoming Erin Fulk, CEO of Lillian James Creative, content and social media agency out of Kansas City, St. Louis, Missouri. Erin, welcome to the party.
Thank you so much for inviting me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I do have to let our listeners know a little bit more about you. Needless to say that you're such a strong entrepreneur with a big heart, passion for social media. And, the biggest highlight for me when I met you in New York at the Digital Agency Expo was that you're such a powerful woman. You ooze that energy. And I was kind of blown away that how in 4 years in your business, and the first 2 years, you took your business to 7+ figures, or maybe less than 2 years. And I was amazed by the success you've had in your agency and the kind of work you're doing for your clients. So all power to you.
Thank you. Yeah, feels like a quick 4 years.
Yeah, no, time flies, eh? Especially when you're an agency owner, for sure.
Right. Very quick days.
True. I've been at this for 12 years and it feels like yesterday. So yeah, no, this has been a great journey for us as well. So welcome again. And you know what? I know the timing may have been a little bit better with the kind of situation that we're all in, the current environment we're all in, with the COVID-19 crisis, which is rapidly evolving, and companies and brands worldwide are facing a new reality, I would say, a new challenging reality. And it just makes me think as an agency, as a business owner, and I'm sure you're doing the same thing in your company. And there's a lot of other businesses who are kind of, keen to learn from each other and say, what is it that we're doing to combat this pandemic and still rise above everything and show up as leaders, show up as powerful businesses, and save our economy from tanking. So I really appreciate that you've taken the time. I know you're busy trying to figure things out in your business. So why don't we begin?
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm keen to learn about your take on this entire COVID-19 situation and how digital marketing is going to change.
Yeah. So I think that we come out of this on the other side, just in general, with a whole different mindset of working and what it means to work from home. I imagine a lot of companies will, depending how long this goes on, but a lot of companies will kind of rework what those options are from working from home for their employees. And with that, I think that everybody's moving more towards a digital outlay of their jobs in general. And so I think that the companies that are quick to adapt, both their technology, but as well as their digital marketing, are going to be the ones that win in the end of this.
Oh, absolutely. And I think you've just hit it on the nail, because at the end of the day, changing behaviors, changing our mindset, and maybe coming out of our own limiting beliefs will be the good side of it. Because sometimes as businesses, we are so used to doing certain things a certain way that we don't come out and come up with a creative solution. But I think we're being forced into looking at our business models differently, looking at how we operate as businesses differently, and come up with more creative solutions on a daily basis. And I know that we have a lot of clients who've been on the edge and asking us, how does this impact my marketing? How does this impact my lead generation? There's obviously going to be an impact. What's your take on it? How do you think businesses could be better prepared for when all of this is over and we're going to accelerate? What should they be doing today to get ready for that turnaround?
So I kind of have a different take on this. We actually usually plan our social media for clients out a month ahead of time. And I went about 2 weeks ago, I went very strong with my clients, even before the stay-at-home orders. Maybe it was 3 weeks ago at this point. But and I called all of our clients and I said, we're going to be looking at this week by week, because the worst thing we can do is plan out your social media and not listen to what people are saying, and not listen and not take like a hold of the social caveat that's going on, right? Like we need to understand what the world looks like. And so we've been taking it week by week, which is something that isn't always as efficient, but we've actually seen, because we are doing that, we've actually seen a really big growth with everybody being online and now it being very relevant in client social accounts. Now, one of the things I think that's going to happen is that we're all going to take a different look at what preparedness looks like. So preparedness for us right now is saying, okay, I have all of the assets I need to put out the social media, so the graphic design I need, the video I need, now putting it together and editing and forming the content around what's happening today is the second form. So we're kind of looking at it in a two-step process now to be able to get ahead of that. I've been doing a live show every week where small businesses can come on and just ask questions, and kind of my advice to them in a world that isn't a marketing business has been, hey, if you can't go to your restaurant and open up, or if you can't go to your retail shop and open up, this is the time now to start building your content calendars. So, come school time, if you, let's hope for the best that come school time, you're going to be selling kids clothes. Start planning that content now. So there are things you can plan for, but in the interim, still being able to keep it agile enough that you can put in what you need to right now so you're not being tone deaf to what's going on in the world.
Oh, perfect. And I love the word that you used in the end, agile. I think this is going to teach content marketers, people who are planners in their business, people who are forecasting, a year or 2 years down the road, to step back and bring agility in their businesses, in their systems, in their processes, in their operations, because things do change and have been changing very, very fast over the last 3 weeks, and they'll continue to change and evolve. So I think changing and evolving your message to make it more relevant, more current, and based on what users are going to consume on a daily basis is what we need to be looking at and guiding our clients through. We've been doing the same thing and similar thing to our newsletter strategy. I mean, we've just shut down all the newsletters and automation, and we said, okay, we're going to fix those, make changes, make adjustments based on what the market demands are going to be. Because this is a situation where not many people are in the mindset of buying, but I find, based on data and based on the research that we've been doing, people are definitely in the mindset of shopping. But they're definitely not in the mindset of buying and making that conversion may not happen right now, but definitely people are researching, they're shopping online, as in they're searching for products and services, things that they had put off, even with their marketing per se. There are clients who are coming back to us and potential proposals that we had put out, asking us and saying, hey, I have a little bit more time now at hand because I'm not an essential business. What can we do? Can we get started on website design and development to accelerate, or can we redesign our landing pages? Can we redesign our content strategy to meet the demands when they open up? And we want to be, ahead of our competitors and be thinking ahead of time. So I think that's a great way to look at it as well. So now, we're in a temporary phase of, setback, I would say, but I think it's the decision to shut down, have lockdowns in various countries and cities, and I know in the US, lots of states are doing that. In Ontario, we've had essential services only open, and we're kind of, trying to control the number of cases that are emerging every day. But with that said, there is a lot of conversation around how content marketing is going to thrive in the coming years. Do you think it's going to thrive, or people will do something different around the type of content that they create? What do you think?
Well, I think that right now, more than ever, we're seeing how important it is, right? So I think by thriving, it's more of a mindset where there's still a good amount of people in business that don't believe in social media. And so I think that this is forcing them to see it for what it is. I know on LinkedIn alone, LinkedIn's really where I do most of my social media, and really 90% of our leads come from LinkedIn for my agency. So we've sat there pretty heavy. I know on LinkedIn alone, the numbers have gone up almost 50% of users in the past couple of weeks. And daily users. So I think that content marketing is something that's going to continue to grow, just because people are now seeing how important it is. The companies that had no content marketing are hurting really, really bad, versus a company like mine that had a ton of content marketing. It doesn't look, it also doesn't feel weird that now I'm doing content marketing, right? Because we were already doing it. And some companies, if all of a sudden now they're posting every day, you're trying to get a hold of why has this become so important, and it's not matching their brand, and over time it will. But I think that users are so smart to that kind of thing now that
You can see
if companies
through.
right now jump all in, then they'll have a better chance of, when sales are going and everything's running back like normal, of using that content, those audience that they gain now while the numbers are bigger, to result in sales and ROI down the road for sure.
Yeah, and I agree with, and Ryan Dice said in his recent post somewhere, he said, it's the time to double down on the share of mind instead of market share. And share of mind is what we're going after for our clients as well. And people who feel that they've not started and now it's maybe too late. I don't think it's too late. It's maybe a perfect timing for you to get started on it, to develop it for the future, as Aaron, you pointed out. And I agree, LinkedIn is a great source now. Talking of content, when you say you're doing content marketing, for our listeners, can you dissect what is considered as content marketing? I mean, everyone thinks blogging and videos are the only form of content that they can produce. Are there any other ideas, given that your company is heavily on social media and content production? Love to get some of your view on that.
Yeah, I think even blogging is content marketing. I think anything you put out there anymore online is really considered content marketing. I'm not sure that the general public has wrapped their head around that yet, especially that word content, because it was used for written word for so long, that I think I've actually almost quit saying that when I'm meeting with a factory or something like that. I'm no longer using the word content marketing. I'm saying, I'm listing off the things: blogs, podcasts, graphic design, blogging, all of the things. But under the marketing umbrella, all of it falls under it, I believe.
Yeah, for sure. Infographics. There's so many ways to build and repurpose your existing content also. And I think that's in the suggestion that we had been giving to our clients lately and saying, hey, listen, we've kind of built over the years, we've built a huge number of blogs for you. How about we take each of those blogs and maybe turn them into frequently asked questions for you? And then or add frequently asked questions to different pages, or take a bunch of your blogs in a similar category. If let's say you are, you're selling a certain type of, let's say, flooring or custom type of closets and a product or tiles, if you're manufacturing those, then how do you kind of turn your blogs or educational blogs and turn them more into ebooks and repurpose your existing content to get attention towards your brand, and also at the same time educate your audience a little bit more, because many times some amazing content sits on your website, has not been able to fully leverage it or get more eyeballs to it. And this might be an opportunity to repurpose or repackage it per se. So that's a great way to look at it for companies as well. And that's what we've been coaching companies. But I think it's also about time for companies to, and something that you might want to weigh in as well, on pivoting in their business. Do you think it's about time for people to start looking at their customer avatars, their personas differently, and say, now who is going to be my customer in 3 months from now, 90 days from now, and hopefully things are going to get into more of a normalcy stage, right?
Yeah, I personally think it's a little bit early for that, because I think if we go back in 3 weeks, I'm in Kansas City, so we still are only on lockdown until the end of April. So if we go back at the end of April, I don't think stuff changes as harshly as if we go back in August.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's a very different mindset if you spend an entire summer at home without, human interaction, versus if you have to spend a month and a half. So I think that right now, honestly, I think end of April, probably demographics stay the same, and people are like, woof, that was rough. Hopefully we never have to do that again. In August, a lot of stuff can happen in a whole summer, right? So then it definitely, I think maybe June, July, you start looking at, hey, what are people's big mindsets changing?
And I think you're right, but I think the one thing that will definitely stay consistent for many companies is communication. I think it's an important aspect. So what are you also guiding your clients to say, less is not more these days, more is less these days, but keep in touch with your clients, make it valuable for them, diffuse any fear that they may have, about anything per se. It's about coming together as a community to make those connections and build those relationships further.
Yeah, so we've been very blessed that I feel like we've had this conversation with our clients. Like we have had the social part of social media conversation with every
Mm-hmm.
client since they came on. So we actually have not lost any clients or had any clients' budgets go down during this, because I think over time we have educated our clients so much that they actually truly believe that
Mm-hmm.
going in on social media right now is the right way to do it. And it's paying off for them. None of them have had to cancel their budgets. So I think that the conversation just becomes like, hey, now how do we tweak it to, which is what we did with that weekly posting versus monthly posting,
Mm-hmm.
doing a weekly strategy versus monthly strategy, I should say it like that, um, to not be tone deaf. There is so many. I saw something the other day that said, like 2 days ago, that said, stop by and claim. It was an ad. You can tell it's been running forever, right? And it was a picture
Mm-hmm.
of all people like hugging each other. And it was like to claim this for you and your friends. And I was like, this is such a
No.
tone deaf ad. Because one, I can't leave my house.
Social
Stop
distancing.
by. What?
Yeah, I said we were talking about social distancing and that image
Yeah.
and that messages.
Yeah, it was just so tone deaf. And so we've really gone in on not allowing that to happen with our
Mm-hmm.
clients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, being sensitive, being empathetic to the situation, and I think you're absolutely right. I mean, lots and lots of companies are at some level. Every company, I think, is facing business disruption due to COVID-19, right? And the current crisis has a long-term impact. People need to understand, but at the same time, that in the short run, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of anxiety among companies, people, business owner, employees, and in general, there is this energy that we need to diffuse, and putting out your marketing message, maybe toning that down. As I mentioned, we've cut down on all the nurturing emails for our clients. And we went back and said, we're going to listen to what the market demands are. And maybe there's a different kind of messaging that needs to go out, because nobody would appreciate you trying to sell them at this stage. Who wants to
Right.
buy? And
The other
so,
thing is to your point of there's a lot of different ways businesses are being affected. I'll give you a really good example. I
mhm,
called a client and I said, this client owns a billing. They do billing for anesthesiologists. And so I
mhm,
know that's medical, but I don't know how medical is affected by this, right? So I said, can we just jump on the phone because I want to chat with how your industry is being affected. And so the conversation essentially was like, actually, right now, we are finishing quarter one's billing. And then
mm,
all elective cases, which is where anesthesiologists really come in, have been put on hold nationwide. But what's going to
mhm,
happen is those are surgeries that still have to happen. Just because it's elective doesn't mean it's surgery that doesn't have to happen, right? So like a
mhm,
broken nose or something like that. So what's going to happen is the second that elective surgeries can happen is they're actually going to double down. So he's like, I actually need to focus right now on my marketing, like the strategy and stuff like that. While it's slower, like in a couple weeks, we plan to have this big strategy yearly meeting, because then he's not going to have any time to talk to us because he'll be so busy, because now instead of
yeah,
running the 5 cases a day, they're going to be running 10 cases a day.
uh-huh, mhm,
So it's like just a different problem, right? Like he knows he's going to have too much business in a little while, so he's trying to figure out his staff and stuff like that. So they're all different. They're all problems, but they're all different types of problems that people are now reevaluating. And I will tell you that the best business owners are the ones that are saying, let's use this time to figure out what my messaging is, hands down.
and not stop their marketing, because I think I totally agree, because um, I started the business when there was a great recession in 2008, and 2008 to 2010, companies who uh, took the risk, took a little bit of hit initially to build their marketing message, as you said, build the content for the future, make sure that they kind of, they did stick around and invested in their marketing, were more strategic with their marketing budgets. I'm not saying throw your money in marketing, but were more strategic on their marketing, but did not stop. They actually thrived, and they actually did really, really well in the online marketing game over a period of time. And their businesses were different businesses when things, started to pick up. So I think At this time, I agree with you, Erin, that we need to be, and our clients need to be a one-stop shop for all of their customers' response needs, right? Nobody was prepared for this. Nobody was prepared for this.
Nobody. Yeah, that's what we all have in common.
Yeah, that's the one commonality, and nobody has the expertise to make things happen, knowing the unknown, right? So instead of focusing on content, which is yet to come, we need to kind of build it on a daily basis and be agile to pivot and change and shift as the market shifts. But again, I think what we can learn from this is that we need to be extra focused. We need to be prepared for some uncertainties in our businesses. I'm sure many people will look at their working capitals differently. Many people will look at their forecasting strategies and have a little bit of a margin for such kind of risks in their forecasts going forward, and be a little bit more, I think, more cautious. At the same time, those who know that their product is great and they can be competing with giants and still be in the area, no matter what kind of pandemic or some other sort of crisis may happen, they're going to rise up. They're the ones who are going to learn from this experience and put those systems in their business operationally, sales-wise, and marketing-wise to stay in business for the long haul. And I think that's my learning as a business owner too. So from an inspiration standpoint, do you want to leave a message for our audience to say, what are the 2 to 3 things that they could do in the next maybe 4 weeks to keep their inspiration above everything, keep their marketing above everything, and keep their business going as things shift again?
So I think that one of my saving graces has been LinkedIn. I think if they're not on LinkedIn, they should definitely get on LinkedIn, only because that's where all the business owners are really having the conversations and being motivational towards each other. They're sharing their wins, they're sharing their challenges. LinkedIn has been more vulnerable than I've ever seen it in these past 3 weeks. So I think that's a great place to really reach out. I would say really kind of audit what your messaging is out completely. So your website, a lot of people build their website and then never look at it again. Get on your website and kind of audit what stuff do you not even do anymore, right? Like are there things on there that your business doesn't even offer anymore? Are there things on there that maybe your business offers and it's not on there yet? Kind of do an audit of all of your online presence. Go out, Google your name, see what the internet's saying about you as far as your business. Go do all of that. And then put a plan. The third would be put a plan in place to start to fix it, because as business owners, we like to feel accomplished. And so as you start to fix that, it will give you that sense of accomplishment to keep up your motivation to eventually get your head back in the game of winning once we can all go back to work.
That's great advice. I'm going to add one more thing, is to prioritize customer listening. So if you're on LinkedIn and your customers are there, prioritize listening to them on social media as well. And you've covered everything, but I would say deploy agile content marketing tactics and keep at it, because at the end of the day, when you activate content, it takes some time for it to show up. But again, listen to your customers, stay agile, find the time to do things that you would not have done or otherwise in your marketing. And that they were kind of, pressing items, but you never had the time to look into it. Speak to your marketing people, your team or marketing agencies, and, work and collaborate with them on making things happen on that front. Get ready for this. We're going to, see a surge. Everything will be okay. And we're going to stay positive. That's what we can do.
Yes. I love all of that.
Yes to it. So thank you, Erin. I know it's a short and sweet podcast. I wanted to put it out there for our listeners. I would love to bring you back when things open up to talk about some concrete strategies on LinkedIn and TikTok and Snapchat, and we'll get more social and more social in our marketing that time.
Sounds great. All right. Thank you so much for inviting me on.
My pleasure, and thank you again for joining, and we look forward to speaking with you next again. And until then, stay safe. I want to wish you and your family and your team stay at home, stay healthy, and keep crushing it.
Thank you for listening to the Fuel Your Marketing podcast. For more episodes, visit www.fuelyourmarketing.com.